If you've ever felt real grief when a fictional character suffered real joy when they succeeded, or a lingering emptiness when a story ended, you might have wondered why something that isn't real can affect you so deeply. But psychology says your brain doesn't experience stories as pretended experiences, then the simulated reality, and that emotional attachment isn't childish, it's neurological. What's happening is narrative immersion. Your brain temporarily treats fictional worlds as meaningful social environments. Research shows when you engage deeply with a story, the same neural networks used for real relationships activate, which means emotionally your brain isn't distinguishing between real people and well-written characters. When you follow a character over time, your brain forms what psychology calls parasocial bonds. These are one-sided relationships where emotional investment grows without direct interaction, and research shows these bonds can feel just as intense as real connections because your brain responds to consistency, vulnerability, and shared experience, not physical presence. Another layer is mirror neuron activation. When characters feel fear, love, shame, or hope, your brain simulates those states internally. Neuroscience shows that observing emotion triggers the same circuits as experiencing it, which explains why you cry during scenes that mirror your own unspoken feelings. Stories give your emotions a safe container to surface. Your attachment also reflects unmet emotional needs. Psychology says fictional characters often embody qualities we long for: understanding, loyalty, growth, or redemption, and your brain gravitates toward narratives that resolve what real life leaves unfinished. This isn't escapism, it's emotional compensation, your mind practicing connection in a space where rejection isn't possible. There's also identity exploration involved. Research shows stories help people explore parts of themselves safely. When you resonate with a character, you're often seeing a reflection of your values, fears, or potential selves. Psychology calls this self-expansion through narrative, which is why letting go of a story can feel like losing a version of yourself. Your emotional depth makes these attachments stronger. Introspective and empathetic minds process stories with more emotional granularity, which means you don't just follow plots, you inhabit inner worlds. Your nervous system syncs with characters, and that intensity is a sign of high emotional intelligence, not fragility. What others might call being too invested is actually cognitive and emotional engagement. Your brain is wired for meaning, connection, and simulation. Stories activate those systems fully, and when a narrative ends, your brain experiences separation, not because you're immature, but because the bond felt real. So if fictional characters stay with you long after the screen fades, remember, psychology sees this as your mind doing what it does best: forming connection, understanding emotion, and exploring identity through story. You don't love characters because you're lonely, you love them because your brain is built for empathy. If this resonated, share it with someone who gets attached to stories, and tell me in the comments which fictional character you still carry with you.